everybody. Welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson,
I'm Nick Kinzel.
And I'm Tom Hoblin.
and we are back after a 2-week break. As we know, NASCAR has not been going on because of the Olympics, but we are happy to be back, and we're going to start off with our diecast of the week. Nick, what'd you bring for us today?
So we're going to Richmond this weekend, and in 2018, I think it was 2018, I believe Daniel Hemrick made his Cup Series debut at a Richmond race, driving this car right here, the number 8 Smoky Mountain Herbal Snuff car. This car is beautiful. I got the chrome edition of it, or the liquid edition of it, or whatever it was. But yeah, this is a really cool car. I got him to sign it when we were at Chicagoland back in 2019 or something like that. But yeah, really good looking race car right here. And after it was just like after that race, I was like, yep, he gonna be my driver next year, because Trevor Bayne was on his way out. So yep, that was that race that I saw that car and I was like, dude, that's badass.
Damn, that thing's shiny.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. It's the first time we saw the 8 running since DEI closed, so that was
Yeah,
cool.
what a weird looking little font for the 8 car here that
Yeah.
they chose for. But yeah, still
I mean
really
this.
nice
I mean
looking
this in the
paint
best way possible. It looks like a Create a car in NASCAR Heat Evolution.
It does.
scheme.
It's just like the font, the stripes, the number font, the stripes, the color is just like, yeah, that's something you could create pretty damn easily in NASCAR Heat Evolution.
Yeah, but it's such like a rare diecast, I feel like, because like you don't really like that. They only ran that font of 8 like probably just like 2-3
2
times.
times
Yeah,
he ran Richmond and he ran the Roval. That was the 2 times that he ran that car, and then then he moved on the next year.
It's
Yeah.
For
amazing
RCR full time.
that Lionel even made that car. Like, damn.
Right?
Mm-hmm. That was pretty damn cool. All right, Tom, what'd you bring for us today, bud?
I've been feeling a little lost without NASCAR, and it's like, what random car can I pull out? And so, present to you, Hut Strickland.
Oh, hell yes.
I have no reason other than this was sitting in my box of cars, and I don't know. It's time to pull out Hut Strickland. So Hut
Hell yeah,
Strickland.
man. I haven't heard that name in a while, but damn, that's a good looking paint scheme though.
Yeah, this is a little Dodge,
Yeah,
coffee sponsorship.
gotta love it.
Oh, yeah.
Hut Strickland.
Hut Strickland.
Hut Strickland, man, that's it. That's all you gotta say right
Shout
there.
out to Hut Strickland.
Yeah. All right, so for my diecast of the week, we're going to Richmond. So I had to bust out Kevin Harvick's final Cup Series win from 2 years ago. Crazy to think that that was already 2 years ago that he got his final win. Mobile One, a beautiful car with the Pegasus on there, and they got the confetti all over it. So, man, it's just crazy to think that it's already been 2 years since that last victory for the 4 car.
That was a good looking mobile scheme for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
That's
all-
when he had that.
What's that?
Oh no, I was just gonna say that's when he had that stretch where he won the back-to-back races. It was like Harvick hasn't won a race all year, then he goes and wins Michigan. Did he win Richmond first? He won Michigan first, right? You were there
Michigan
for it.
first. Yeah.
Michigan first, and then the next
he
year it was
bounced
flipped.
it, and then he
Yeah.
bounced back and got that Richmond win. So, yeah.
So I saw his second to last win, so I guess
There
it's
you
a little significant there.
And you got to see his last DQ.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, man.
Thanks.
Go back and look at the intro. That slow-mo finish. There you go.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Doesn't even count. Oh, shit. All right, guys. Well, let's get into our top stories. And there has been a lot since we
Yeah.
have taken our break here. But probably the biggest story coming out is Corey LaJoie is finally leaving Spire Motorsports. All I gotta say is hallelujah. Rodney Childers doesn't have to be stuck with him going forward. So wherever Corey LaJoie lands, it's fine. But keep him away from Rodney.
This is a really weird situation. They announced Rodney over there, and they said, like in the press release, they said he will crew chief for Corey LaJoie. And a couple weeks later, they're like, never mind, Corey's out of the ride. And then a quote comes out from the owner of Spire basically saying, he's like, I don't know if this was the right decision. So you'd think that they'd have a driver lined up to make this move, but
Right.
with him saying, I don't know if this is the right decision, then do they have a driver lined up? What are they thinking? Did something fall through? Did they think they could get something, make an announcement, and it fall apart? Who knows? I know what I wish to see, but it's a long shot. So that'll be a tough one. But it's just an odd thing. And you hate to see a guy lose his job, but at the same time, like we were predicting, I mean, we were saying, what does Corey LaJoy do 7-8 weeks ago? And I was trying to defend him. So I'll swallow this one. I was like, oh, he's not that bad. He's like building a team and they're loyal to, obviously they're not loyal to him. I was dead wrong. So yeah, it's just, this kind of has the same feeling as SHR going up for sale after they come, as Kevin Harvick said, forever to forward to for sale or something, however he said. So yeah, it's kind of a weird one, but I don't hate the move.
Yeah, I was honestly a little shocked. Corey's been there almost since the beginning. He's putting some work. I mean, he's been okay, but then I thought with Rodney, it was like maybe this is what he needs. So, but then he's gone now. So, what did Rodney have a say in that? Did he say I don't want to work with Corey LaJoy? But yeah, now with that quote that you just said, it's like, what are we doing here? Like, who's going to take the 7 car now? And it just makes you wonder. Well, whoever's taking it, they're going to get a hell of a crew chief in Rodney Childers. So I'm just curious to who's it going to be. But yeah, and I didn't see this one coming at all. I thought Corey was going to be a Spire for lifer, to be honest with you. But it'll be interesting to see where he lands. Will he land anywhere? It just depends on what kind of money he's going to be bringing to the table, because the performance, he ain't going to get a ride performance wise. What money are we bringing to the table? You just don't know at this point. So it'll be interesting to see where he lands. And I'm curious to see who's going to take that 7 car, because Spire's going to be looking like a whole new organization next year with McDowell coming over there too. So makes you wonder.
Yeah, I really think they let him go so late because maybe they looked at his performance the past few months, and maybe even sponsorship looked at it too, and they're like, maybe he isn't who we thought he was. And we've seen this guy just run out of talent this season. And putting a lot of our guys in a mess too. So I don't know.
Yeah, he's dangerous to be around on the track, and we've seen that with many people, even on his own teammates, like he had at Nashville. But there's so much to speculate about with how this all went down. I mean, with the Gamebridge coming into Spire and their ties to Andretti saying they want to get into NASCAR, does somehow Andretti have something to do with this? I'm thinking about Josh Berry in this situation where he wanted to go with Rodney Childers somewhere, but they were kind of forced to part ways. And then all of a sudden this seat becomes open. Rodney's seat becomes open. That's a tough situation. And I don't think Josh Berry can get out of that Ford contract, that Wood Brothers contract. So I think they're stuck. But again, like you said, you mentioned Michael McDowell. They're bringing in Michael McDowell. They're bringing in Rodney Childers. They're not going to want to bring in some goofball driver that's not proven. I don't think this car goes to an Xfinity prospect right now, unless somebody brings a lot of money or backing to the table. Like Spire wants to win, and they're showing us all this stuff, and so they need a proven winner. But technically, there's nobody available.
I'm looking at Ryan Preece. I think he would definitely maybe be a good fit over there at Spire
But a
Motorsports. I mean,
Cup Series winner. That's the thing. He is available, but I just don't think that's the type of driver that Spire is looking for this seat.
It'll be tough to get. That was the first one that came to mind for me, was Kyle Busch, but I think he's stuck at RCR.
He's technically locked in another year at RCR.
Yeah. But we have seen RCR
let people go.
Yeah, we've seen RCR drivers kind of break the contract. So,
but there's also rumors that, and who knows if they're just words, but I mean, there's rumors that big changes are coming to RCR, and maybe nothing will happen this year. But I mean, with the retiring firing of Andy Petrie, they may be going a different direction on the competition side. So it just leaves a lot of open-ended stuff.
Just thinking about a Kyle Busch, Rodney Childers duo, man.
Makes me drool, unfortunately. I'm not going to kid myself like
dangerous.
Like, I want it to happen so bad, but it's so unlikely that I will not believe it until I see Kyle Busch in a Spire car at the 500 next year. I won't believe it until it's on the track.
Who would have thought? Say that does happen. Who would have thought that years ago Inspire was just a joke when they got started off, and now they got Kyle Busch driving their race car, and they got Rodney Childers crew chief in it. Who would have thought?
You know that Kyle Busch fans are down bad when they're
You,
begging to go to Spire.
you're begging to go to Spire, where
Who would have
five
Tell me
years
that at
ago.
the 28 or 2017 Coke Zero 400 to be like, one of those days Kyle's going to drive that car
We're
that
gonna
just
drive
won
that
that
car.
race. My goodness.
Oh,
Also,
man.
Corey on his podcast, looking back on that Coke Zero 400 all those years ago that Justin Haley won in the rain shortened, Corey made a weird comment on his podcast saying, like, I really want to be the first one to put a win banner on the wall at spot. And he goes, well, a real win banner, because that Daytona race wasn't a real. And it's like, oof, that's kind of, I mean, that
Throwing
counts.
some
They have a
shade.
trophy. They have a trophy. As much as we hate rain shortened races, that just cut a little deep. And it's like, man, is he emotional or is he actually hating on his team here?
Don't get me started.
Yeah,
That's
for
all I
once,
gotta say.
I have to. But whole other discussion. This show is going to be 3 hours long if we start
Oof.
bringing that shit
Yeah.
up.
Okay. I'm sorry.
All good. But guys, also Juan Pablo Montoya announced that he is going to be coming back after a 10-year hiatus in NASCAR, and he's going to be driving the number 50 for 2311 Racing at Watkins Glen with Mobile One as his sponsor. Pretty damn cool. We know he
Yeah.
was so damn good on those road courses when he came over here stock car racing, and the guy drives everything and he wins at everything he does. So awesome to see the legend Juan
Yeah.
Pablo come back.
Yeah, it's just very. This is a great opportunity for him to step in one of these cars. The 2311 cars, they are fast. He's very good at Watkins Glen. I expect him to go out there and do good things. And I just think it's really cool to see him back in the sport. So if we're going to go along this line, the next driver, 2311, needs to bring in on a road course. We got to get Marcos Ambrose back in the series and back in one of those cars. Get him back at the Glen. That was his little playground there. But no, yeah, super cool to see Juan back. And I do expect him to do quite well.
Yeah, he's going to be competitive, and it's fun to see. He was in the sport when I was younger, obviously, and I didn't really respect his pedigree. I was like, oh, this guy showed up. He's got 3 names. He's a funny name, and like he was competitive. But he was never like good in my eyes. But I didn't have the context of his whole career. So I'm excited to see him drive and knowing he's coming back. And it's just cool to see somebody like Juan come back with all that racing history. It'll get more eyes on NASCAR, which we always love. And I think he'll do well, like you said.
Oh yeah, and like we've seen so many guys like come from different forms of racing come over and run this next gen car, and they love it. I mean,
Mhm.
Shane Van Gisbergen won his first race, and Juan Pablo, he'll drive anything, so I'm sure he'll feel right at home getting into this race car and being back on his favorite racetrack on the NASCAR circuit. But it'll be cool to see him kind of come back and be like our Boris said or
Yeah.
something. See some road course racing with him.
You wonder how he'll adapt to the next gen car. I'm not
Mhm.
concerned about him adapting to the NASCAR culture, obviously, because he was in it for so long. So you hear these other guys that like the Jensen Buttons and the Shanes come in here and they're like, oh my goodness, they're all on it. They're running into each other all the time. That's not going to surprise Juan Pablo Montoya. The big struggle for him is going to be the car. It's so completely different than he used to drive in NASCAR. But if he can adapt well, and I know he's been driving sports cars, so it may feel comfortable for him.
Yeah, absolutely. So can't wait to see Juan Pablo back behind the wheel. Also another driver getting back behind the wheel, Mr. Greg Biffle. He's going to be coming back for an ARCA West race in Washington State at Tri-County Speedway. So pretty interesting.
Cool.
We've seen the Biff come back for a few Truck Series races since his Cup Series retirement, and wants to go and run with the little boys and go run Arco West. So should should be interesting. I'm sure it won't be televised or we'll have to pay for some kind of subscription. So
Yeah.
good luck, Greg.
Good luck,
He's
Greg.
gonna take those kids to school, or he's gonna get ran into on the first lap. Like there's no in between for me here.
No. It's like
That's an interesting one.
as long as he can get out in front, is there any
He's gone.
competition? Or is he just there literally
It's
to
the Arca
steal
West series.
literally there to steal a trophy?
Yeah,
Like
pretty much.
if he wins, I won't be impressed. And if he loses, I'll be like, what the hell happened to Greg Biffle?
Yeah.
So
Oh, Greg. All right, so Christopher Bell's crew chief Adam Stevens, apparently he was injured while on vacation. I didn't really see any details on what happened or what he injured, but
Something on a diving board, both
they
something in
said
both
double
his knees
knees.
or something.
Double
Yeah,
knee
double
injury.
knees.
double
Sounds
knee
rough.
replacement. Yeah, so that's pretty rough. So he is going to be out for a bit, and Chris Sherwood is going to be the substitute crew chief for Christopher Bell. So a little kick in the groin there for C Bell. We know that he's
Mhm.
been struggling here a little bit in these summer months, and looking for a little bit of oomph to get back into victory lane. So not what he needed, since I'm sure that they have been just trying to cook something up during this off season, and now their plans kind of fall through with a new crew chief at hand.
Yeah, this is not the time of year to lose your crew chief. I mean, Adam Stevens will still be in the war room. I'm sure he'll still be a heavy influence, but it's hard to not be at the track and know exactly what to do. So yeah, this is a tough loss, and
Yeah,
obviously you wish Adam Stevens just to recover as quickly as he can.
One of the
yeah.
best.
This is definitely not what Christopher Bell needed, but I'm gonna say, hopefully get it done now. Hope I'm sure he's gonna try and be back for the playoffs. So if it was gonna happen, let it happen now. Obviously wish him the best, but yeah, you don't want this to happen in the playoffs. So I'm sure he'll be back before then. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see these next couple of weeks. See Bell and his new kind of crew chief.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
where's the discussion on restricting crew chiefs from jumping off diving boards or
Yeah,
something?
Yeah,
right.
what the hell?
If Chase Elliott can't go snowboarding, then my crew chief can't jump off a diving board. The world's too dangerous. Wrap him in bubble wrap, put him in the closet, pull him out every Sunday.
For
I
real.
literally think that he said that it was like he didn't want to let his kids one up him or something, so he tried to do some crazy move. He didn't want to do some crazy move on the diving board. Then he
Oh,
busted both his knees.
I was either
get
thinking
like
that or alcohol was involved.
or both.
Could
Yeah,
have
or
been
both.
both, honestly.
Peer pressured, injured by your children is a
While drunk.
wild, yeah, wild drunk. These are all allegations. We are not accusing Adam
Yeah.
Stevens. Um, I don't want to get sued by Adam Stevens somehow. Also, hi Adam, that
Sued
you're
for
watching. It's
defamation.
nice of you to watch. Yeah, that's that's a tough one. That's tough.
Yeah, real rough. So get better soon, Adam. Can't wait to see you back at the track. But guys, a huge story this week. We saw that Hooters did leave Hendrick Motorsports about a month or two ago, and they were wondering who's going to fill the hole for this race. Hooters was supposed to be on board for Richmond. Coca-Cola, we saw that they let Chase Elliott join the family last year, and he's finally going to be having his own Coca-Cola paint scheme coming up this weekend at Richmond Raceway. Paint scheme looks pretty damn good.
Yeah, Hendrick just had to put something on the car, I think. So I feel like Coca-Cola probably got a pretty good end of the deal here. They're like had a last second primary scheme open for a really popular driver. So
Yeah.
It's
probably for pretty cheap too.
Yeah.
always refreshing to see a Coca-Cola scheme on the racetrack. Yeah, it looks pretty good.
I've always been a big fan of just plain red Coca-Cola paint schemes on the track. It always looks good.
I'm
On
not a big
this
fan of the. I don't like the black number 9 that much. But other than that, I do like the scheme. But I don't know the color of the 9.
Yeah.
That's just a little funky. It doesn't really
Hendrick
gel that
always
well
just
with
does
it.
weird shit with their number fonts.
hot take, Pepsi is my mic just broke. Pepsi is better and
Oh,
Pepsi cars look better. Boom, hot
oh,
take taken.
oh.
Pepsi, I don't know. It's good once in a while. It's just a little too sweet
No,
for me.
it's sweet and it's flat. It just tastes like a flat Coke is what Pepsi tastes like.
Well,
I
more
will say this
Pepsi
though.
for me
I will
then.
say
Damn.
I will say this. I would prefer a cherry Pepsi to a cherry Coke any day.
Okay.
Yes.
Cherry
I that
Pepsi is cherry Pepsi is it's in my top 3 of
cherry Coke tastes like
the pond.
ass.
Yeah.
But Nick will agree with me here. Mr. Pibb is the king of sodas.
Oh, Mr. Pibb is the absolute king of sodas. Pibb Extra. Gotta
Oh
love
yeah.
it. That's what we need.
We will
need
die on that hill,
we
Tom.
we need a PIV car in NASCAR. That's what we need.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever put that drink in my body, so at least
Whoa, you're
intentionally.
missing out.
Well,
You are
brother, you
Was it
haven't
missing
what is
out.
it
lived
like
yet.
Dr. Pepper?
It's pretty much like Dr. Pepper,
It's
but it's
better.
Okay. I'll look out for some Mr. Pibb then.
Go to a Bass Pro Shop and you'll find it. That's about the
Hmm.
only place you're gonna find it around here.
Uh,
Unless you go to,
I've seen it at Jewel.
have you?
Yeah.
Okay, I have seen it at Jewel a couple times, and every time I do, I always stock up on it. But when I was in like the literally Southern Illinois, and then we stopped in a little store, and they were selling it by the 24 packs, and I was in heaven.
Hell yeah.
I had to pick some up for the way home.
There you go.
You just
All
don't
right.
find it up here.
Yeah. We're getting off topic with the soda here. All right, so going back to it, Connor Zilish, he is going to be running full time for Junior Motorsports in the Xfinity Series next year, running the 88. I think that's fantastic. This kid has proven a lot in just a short amount of time. We saw that he ran the Rolex 24 earlier this year. He's been running some ARCA races. He's been running part time in the Truck Series as well. And the kid has just been absolutely incredible every time he steps into one of these cars. And Dale Jr. saw something in him and put him in full time. So going to be great to see for this young man.
And it's in a partnership with Trackhouse, so I'm sure they're going to be fully funded and ready to go. Dale Jr. wouldn't take something on like this unless he got the backing. I mean, maybe he would. He put Josh Berry in there. He convinced Tire Pros to jump in, but he's going to have help with Justin Marks. So I'm sure Justin came to Dale and be like, "Hey, can I have a chassis for next year? Can I have a number?" I'm so much more curious with this move with the rest of their lineup because they didn't come out and confirm anything. There's rumors that Brandon Jones may bring his Menards money somewhere else. And so I wonder what this lineup is going to be.
Mayer might be leaving.
And
Yeah,
Sam Mayer might be leaving. Dale just got the rights back to the DEI number 8, so maybe they turn the number 8 back into their star car. And if Dale runs another Xfinity race, maybe we see him in that old red 8 one more time. Wouldn't that be incredible? It'd be insane. Just the visuals on that one. But yeah, it's curious and whatnot. I thought Dale giving up the 88 for that it was very interesting.
Yeah, well, that was just it. That's what makes this more interesting is that he's going to be in the 88 full time. So yeah, who's getting these other rides? You can pretty much probably pencil in Allgaier to come back as long as he wants to keep driving. He's pretty much got himself a ride for life there. Yeah, Brandon Jones, you don't know. Sam Mayer might be moving up to Cup Series. What I would love to see happen is Sam Mayer goes up to Cup Series and they open up a seat for Carson Quapple. Because he's done amazing in those races. Get some funding. Let's go do it, and then that's going to be a really stacked lineup right there.
God,
so
where would Sam Mayer go in the Cup Series? That's my question.
They're thinking
look at the ride.
He could also take a front row ride as well. He's rumored to be going over there. The president of Front Row Motorsports said that they're looking to have 3 young, talented race car drivers, and we already know that Noah's going over there. It's rumored that Zane Smith might be coming back over to Front Row camp as well.
That'd be wild. They loaned him out for a year to suck at Spire just to come back. They got the best of both worlds with that one, if that's the case. I think though, I think if Sam Mayer goes to the Cup Series, he has a Zane Smith type season.
Yeah.
I don't think it goes well for him, and he'll be very upset. He gets in there all cocky, thinks he can do everything. He's going to run 30th for the rest of the season and just be miserable. I just don't think it'll go well.
Yeah. Back to that 34. I could absolutely see Zane Smith making that move back over to Front Row if it does happen, because I just think he's the odd man out right now. Like, what's going to happen? You have to think Van Gisbergen's going Cup racing next year. So where does that leave him? And another news topic we can talk about is Suarez he's coming back for next year.
That's
so
right.
where does that leave Zane Smith in all of this? Is he going to stay? Or is he going to go? Like, you just don't know.
And are the charters available for Trackhouse?
Right.
Yeah. The Suarez news that also dropped today. It's a very big one. With him being confirmed for another year in the 99. But we see Trackhouse make moves like this though. They put Zilic in the 88 for next year. They put Zane Smith in a Spire car for a year. They're not afraid to reach out to their friends and be like, "Hey, we'll give you a talented driver if you help us develop him and whatnot. So they may have some tricks up their sleeves to make sure all their drivers get good amount of seat time.
Yeah, definitely. It's just crazy to see how many like signed Trackhouse drivers that there actually are.
Dude, literally
And just
built.
like where they're all loaned out to, like SVG Trackhouse, he's loaned out to Colleague. Connor Zilish loaned out to pretty much anybody right now
Mhm.
that will take him. It's absolutely, and same with Zane Smith, and now he's going to be possibly moving over to a different team and not Trackhouse just because they don't
Yeah.
have the money to possibly get a third or maybe even a fourth charter. Because I know they want to get SVG in a Cup car as soon as possible. At this
Yeah,
point,
he's got to take that open. He's got to take that charter for sure.
hmm
Does
But it's
SVG
just
go to Rodney Childers in the 7?
ooh,
that would actually
Be interesting. You get a
that
veteran
that would
crew
be,
chief to help coach this veteran driver through a brand new experience.
you know
I
I
what,
don't
think
think
of
I heard
I
that.
anybody
like
talk
it.
about that. I kind of just thought about that in the moment. I don't think it's likely, but it could be something.
Yeah,
I didn't even
uh,
think of that. Man.
I would. That would be pretty. I would see Rodney more in a younger driver,
Mhm.
but you don't know how much longer Rodney wants to be in the sport. Maybe he could do just like maybe another 5, 6, 7 years, however long SVG wants to do this for. So that's
Yeah, I mean
that's a good
SVG is
thought
not
there,
going to be
Tom.
around too much longer. That would be a
No,
bombshell.
yeah, that
That
would
would
be
be
insane.
insane.
And if it happens, you got to clip this and be like, "Yo, we predicted this. We'll
Yeah,
go. We'll explode."
Right?
but it's just crazy. It's crazy to see Trackhouse, who just came to this into the sport just a few short years ago, and now what they've built, having all these other drivers, superstar drivers, loaned out to other teams because they have so much. There's so many prospects right now. It's just crazy to see from where they started to where they are now.
Yeah, and they're
Just
doing other racing endeavors too. I mean, they got into MotoGP just because it was available. They're like, "Oh, that's cool. Let's get over there and let's do all this." And I really like what Justin Marks is doing over there.
yeah,
It's just fun. He's throwing
One of
caution
the
to the wind.
smartest team owners right now, I would
Hmm.
say. He's doing it
Hmm.
right. All right, guys. Baseball is coming to Bristol Motor Speedway. It was announced that the Reds and the Braves are going to be facing off next season, next August, at Bristol Motor Speedway in the infield. We've seen college football be played there against the Tennessee Volunteers and Virginia Tech, and now we're going to be playing some baseball. Absolutely insane,
They
guys.
they found something to do with all that dirt.
Oh, good one, bud.
Ugh, been waiting all day to say that one.
Yeah. It's been festering.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I got to get this joke in here. Oh, come on. No, I did like all the fan rendering before we saw the images that came out today from NASCAR and the MLB. I liked all the fan renderings. They're like, if you put the home plate at the center of 3 and 4, you could have a 900-foot center field.
yeah,
But
I saw people
yeah,
say like, "Oh, let's recreate the Polo Grounds with
yeah,
this."
that'd be
Like,
the
oh
Polo
mhm,
no.
Grounds on
yeah,
steroids. But what a crazy idea! But I love it. I think it's gonna bring more eyes to both sports here, and it's just gonna be crazy to see the final product of what this field is gonna look like. And it's just that's insane. That could potentially you get 150,000 people up in there.
mhm.
I mean, when they played the college football game in there, that the attendance for that was through the roof. I can't imagine what it's
Yeah.
going to
I'm
be
pretty sure
for a
that
Major
was the
League
most
Baseball
attended
game. Yeah,
college football game ever.
I
And
think
this
it was
will
too.
um the most attended MLB game ever was at the LA Coliseum and they got 100,000 people in there, but Bristol can hold 146, I think, right now. Um
160 actually. And
um
plus they're going to be adding some grandstands
Yeah,
too, so
there's going to be some grandstands down in the infield, but it looks like all of one of the corners, I think it's 3 and 4, are going to be blocked off based off
oh
the
yeah.
renderings because they're building a press box from
Hmm.
what I could just glean from the
Oh
renderings.
yeah,
So we may lose a few, but I still think they're going to smash the MLB attendance record by 10 or 15,000 just for the novelty of such an event. I mean, cool way to get a bunch of eyes on NASCAR, a bunch of eyes on baseball.
Unfortunately,
see
probably
now
the
what
only way you can sell out Bristol nowadays.
for real.
Yeah.
That's so sad to see. So what they need to do, they need to play this game, but we need to run the Bristol night race that same night. Do you
During
imagine
it.
someone hits a foul ball and all of a sudden It's
through a
fucking.
windshield.
Oh, Kyle
It's gonna-
Busch crashes.
Hey, now.
A bullet
Hey, now,
windshield.
Kyle Busch does not need a baseball rolling on the track to crash. He can crash all on his own. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
We
he's pretty
wouldn't
good at
have
it.
we wouldn't have live pit stops. They would have to take all the cars outside the track to do it because there wouldn't be any. There'd be no pit
Yeah.
road.
It'd be the
Yeah.
opposite of Bristol dirt, where you'd have dirt pit stops and paved road, paved racetrack.
You got to go around all the bases
Mhm.
to get a pit stop.
I mean, hey, technically, since they played baseball at the Coliseum, and now you're putting baseball in the last great Coliseum, so we're just trying to share the love with all these sports playing in each other's venues and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. So that is gonna be wild, you guys.
Be cool. Wish they
Another,
could get some better teams in that game, though.
yeah,
Seems
Reds
kind of
and the
like an odd
Braves.
pair. It's just like, I guess these guys are close enough.
Well, we're just
Um,
gonna watch the Braves just absolutely destroy the Reds. That's what's gonna
Or
happen.
maybe it's just because they want more people to get their eyes on some other teams other than the Dodgers. Who knows?
Yeah. I think also what they're trying to do with this, because I know it's been rumored that they want to make another franchise in Tennessee for
Mhm.
an MLB team. So they want to see how many people around there actually care about the MLB.
Yeah.
So they better show up, because I would love to see like a Nashville team, even if they do
Yeah.
move the
I'm
White
curious
Sox
about
down there. That'd
the
be cool.
merch that'll come out. Usually for these like one-off games, they have special printed
Yeah.
baseballs and baseball caps and patches and all that. Wonder if the teams will do special uniform. Like there's so much that goes
Yeah,
into
the
this.
uniforms. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say.
They
I
have the
also like how
show cars out
Bristol,
there.
yeah, I saw that today, and I like how Bristol, like when they had the football game, they left the football painted on the infield for the longest time, and now they got a baseball lines painted on the infield. That's just a cool touch that they have.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. All right, guys, another little piece of news here. We were just talking about our boy Shane Van Gisbergen, but it was announced that his crew chief will be leaving Colleague Racing, and we got a little crew chief swap now. He's going to be getting Josh Williams crew chief now. And just a big switch up. And I think
Mm.
that is just a huge loss for SVG here. He's been excelling so much on these ovals. He's been learning so much, and now it's basically like a whole reset for this guy now.
This is like the Adam Stevens injury, but on steroids. You just lose your crew chief who you've been building with. I mean, you're leading the playoff standings right
Mm-hmm.
now with this crew chief, and the 11 car has been struggling. And maybe it's probably the driver more than the crew chief on that one, but who knows? Now you got to learn a whole new way to communicate with a whole new guy. And when you're just about to start coming to tracks for a second time, it's just really, really unfortunate that Shane's going to have to go through this for how little time he actually has to actually be at the pinnacle of NASCAR. I just feel like this is a gigantic setback, bigger than most crew chief swaps.
Yeah, that it makes no sense to me. Like we're coming up on playoff time. We're coming up on returning to some of these tracks for a second time. So really, what it must be is Chris Rice and Matt Cog are tired of the '97 car. That's technically not their driver. Technically not their car, just under their name.
Yeah.
They're tired of seeing him succeed while their drivers aren't doing shit.
It sounds like some kind of dispute. I mean, they're just like when they made the announcement, they're like, we won't share details for Bruce's like personal privacy. It's like it's real shady and weird. And I wonder how much of this we're gonna find out, or if this, like so many other things, just get swept under the rug.
Yeah. Well, that's Colleague Racing. They're just gonna keep
Mm,
doing things. It's just gonna ruin their
yeah.
their business
The
model.
dumpster fire rolls on.
Yep. All right, and our last bit of news here, The Athletic posted yesterday an article of what could possibly be our 2025 NASCAR playoff schedule. We saw some changes in there. Some we like, some we don't like. We did see that they will be adding Worldwide Technology Raceway into the first round of the playoffs. They're going to be moving Talladega to the
Mm.
round of.
That's fucking.
Now, this isn't for sure. This is not completed yet. But as of right now, it's looking like that we might have someone race their way for a championship at Talladega Super Speedway. That scares the living shit out of
Or
me, boys.
Or you have somebody who's really good in the championship gets locked up in a wreck on lap 12 and they miss out on the championship 4. I mean, any one of the think Tyler Reddick crashes out. He could have been in a precarious point situation. He crashes out early in this race and he misses the championship 4 when he's having a stellar, incredible year. Like this is there's too much pressure on Talladega. And you're in less control of your own destiny at these super speedways than ever before with this car. You can't make passes. You pull out a line to try to make a move and you get sent to the back. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one to swallow for sure.
Yeah, I know they did it for the chaos. This is all built on entertainment nowadays. So that's why they put it right there, because they want somebody. They want an underdog who clawed his way to the round of 8, like a Chase Briscoe, like some guys like that. They want them to go win Talladega, so they're in the championship 4, and that's exactly why they did.
So they can run 28th at Phoenix. Like, what's the point?
That's what they want it for, though. That's how they're doing this. It's criminal to not see Homestead in there. We already kind of knew that was happening, though. And Worldwide Technology, I don't know what they did to become deserving of a playoff date. That's just going to be a crapshoot barn burner. Yeah, they sell tickets. Crapshoot.
I feel like it kind of
fits
the model. Fits the model of the first round. I feel like the first round isn't like super exciting, crazy tracks. Like we got Darlington. That's the big one, and I feel like it's kind of like a calmer race, because then after that we're gonna have Bristol. I feel like it's perfect for the first round. If it was in round 2 or 3, I kind of have a problem with it. Also, it'll be a little bit too cold out there too.
But with that argument, I'd almost rather switch, and I don't know the order off the top of my head, but I'd rather put Talladega in the first round and have a normal race like WTT in the round of 8.
Yeah.
Because you don't want this chaos solving your championship. It's like
that's what they want. That's what
imagine you just put all of you do the first round of the NFL playoffs, and then for the championship games or whatever, you put everybody in a lotto ball, and then you pull them out 2 by 2, and those guys face each other. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
What NASCAR wants. They want that chaos. They want that storyline, and that's why they're going to do this. And also, isn't New Hampshire slated to return to the playoffs?
Yeah, New Hampshire is slated to be the first race of the second round. Of the round of 12.
It's not bad.
So.
It's just, I mean,
it's not bad.
It gives us a flat oval in each one, and when you're gonna set your championship for a flat oval, I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
The thing that concerns me about New Hampshire is they're probably going to run this race still in the late afternoon, and we know New Hampshire doesn't have lights, and you're going to put this further back in the year, and it just gives you less time to get the race in if something happens. It's just they want chaos, but then you put 4 flat ovals in the playoffs. You want excitement, you want racing, and then you go to places where you can't pass. It's tough. And I know we're complaining crybaby NASCAR fans, but it's just tough. They need to bring back the chase.
Yeah, same.
Just the straight up chase. If you count points all year, keep counting points.
Yeah.
You could reset everybody, but count points.
Yeah, one thing I dislike about this is the Roval coming back to be in the schedule. I feel like it's over with. The gimmick is done. It was cool the first couple years, and just like the Indy Roval, let's just end it. Let's just go back on the Charlotte Oval, because it's been proven to be some of the best racing out here. But that is going to be the cutoff race for the round of 12. I mean, we're used to that at that point. Yeah. It's been a cutoff race for a while. But then Vegas is going to be opening the round of 8, which I absolutely love. Vegas is such a great track. And then Talladega will be our second race, and then Martinsville is going to be the cutoff race before
also, if you're going to put Talladega that late, you need to put it as the first race in the round, so people have 2 races to recover. Because that's bonkers.
Yeah,
that's absolutely bonkers. That's tough.
Nice.
That's tough.
But I will say, if someone has a bad Las Vegas race and they come out and win at Talladega, then that'll feel pretty damn good.
You're right. You're right. The opposite is true for Talladega. Is that
Yeah.
you could find your way to the front and win that race when you're not supposed to. Um, but again, to shoe you into the championship race just like that. The thing is though, like the Roval argument, the Talladega argument, these road courses and super speedways are a part of the regular season. They belong in the playoffs in a broad sense.
Oh yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's tough with the Roval. Charlotte needs 2 dates, but if you get rid of the Roval, then you lose a playoff date for a road course. And we saw they
Well,
tried Watkins Glen in the playoffs last year, didn't they?
no, we're
And
No, it's the
trying it for
first
the
year.
first time
oh, it's
this
Yeah,
that's
this is
year.
the
this year.
first time.
Yeah,
This
and we're
year,
not
okay,
even going
that's
to
right.
attempt it again
That's
next
right.
year. I
Yeah.
think that is so dumb. Just
Mhm.
replace the Roval with Watkins
The
Glen.
Olympics messed up the schedule this year, but and whatnot,
Yeah,
but yeah, this playoff leaves a lot to be desired.
yeah. This is probably, I'd say, probably one of the worst playoff schedules that I've ever seen coming into for
It's
next
gonna be
season.
something. It's gonna be
Yeah,
something.
and of course, just not a fan of Phoenix being the championship race. Once again, they already announced that earlier this year that it was going to be in 2025, but
Yeah,
you just
I don't
hope
think
Want
we're
the
again
getting
money.
away.
2026
I
is
don't
going to
think
be
we're
a
going
lot
to get
better.
away from Phoenix.
No.
The Phoenix, I until they change the playoff format again, which I don't see them doing anytime soon. Which I think if you're going to do rounds of 3 races, the final round should also be 3 races.
That would be sick.
The
Yeah.
odds that you're going to get a tie in the points are low, but that would also be super intriguing. And the odds that you're going to lock down the championship before the final race anyway are still low. But to put it all in one race and like Christopher Bell explode a rotor at Phoenix is tough. But I think as long as fans keep showing up and they keep selling out Phoenix, and Phoenix keeps wanting that race, they're going to keep getting it.
Yep. Now people are going to go just because it is the championship race. So real unfortunate that we got to keep wasting time down there at Phoenix Raceway. But guys, let's talk Richmond that is coming up this weekend. The Xfinity Series is off, but we do have the Trucks and the Cup Series. So we're gonna kick off with our Truck Series. We got the Clean Harbors 250. It's 187 miles, 250 laps. Stages 1 and 2 are 70 laps each, and the final will be 110 laps. Last year's winner was Carson Hocevar. He's up Cup Series racing now. Some notables in this one. Really, the only big notable I could look at was Connor Zilisch. We talked about him going full time with Junior Motorsports next year. He will be in the 7 truck for Spire Motorsports this weekend. So, boys, going trucking in Richmond, Virginia. Who we picking? Tom, we'll start off with you, bud.
Um, we start off the year after a long break with the Spire trucks figuring it out and going fast. And I think they're going to come back to that a little bit after taking a break, having some time off to readjust and land on things. So I'm going to pick Nick Sanchez to win. I know he's not a Spire truck, but he is affiliated with Spire heavily. They build their trucks in house there. So I think Nick Sanchez can get it done, and he needs a good performance. He's slipping down further in the points, down to 4th.
Also, I believe this is the last race before the playoffs for trucks.
Woof.
This is it for them. And then they're going playoff racing. Couldn't tell you when, but I believe this is the last.
Damn.
This is the final race of the regular season for them. So for me, for my pick, after a long break, I just want to go with the guy who's leading them when before we went to break, and he's just going to keep the momentum rolling. I'm going with the 19 truck of Kristen Eckes. He's as the year started, it was all about Corey Heim, but as we've reached these summer months now, I think the page is flipped, and I think it's more about Christian Eckes now. I think he's the man to beat. Corey Heim's going to be up there, but I think going forward, I think Eckes is that guy, and that's why I'm taking him to win here at Richmond to get to get a win before the playoffs begin.
You are
All right.
1,000% right. We go to Milwaukee on August 25th after this race, and that is the first race of the playoffs.
Guys, look at the
Incredible.
playoff standings here. 5 points separate the
Ooh.
cutoff line. Daniel Dye is only 5 points behind Tanner Gray, and Ben Rhodes only has a 22-point lead in 9th. And Stuart Friesen,
Wow.
who's in 12th, is only down 16 points. So
Ooh.
this Richmond race
And Matt
could
Crafton
be real
is a
dicey.
KG veteran, and this is a veteran's track.
Ah,
Who knows? Matt Crafton could. I mean, he hasn't shown it recently, but there's no reason why he couldn't come out and steal a win here.
all right.
There's no reason he couldn't. I mean, there's lots of reasons he could do that, but like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just I'm trying to build up the drama here. Help me out.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't think Matt Crafton is him anymore,
Mm-mm.
man.
No,
He's just say it's
you're
gone.
right.
washed.
I don't
Yeah.
think Thorsport is that way either.
No, they're not. They're not
No.
even the top anymore. Like I'm worried. I'm genuinely worried for Ben Rhodes here.
Mhm.
Our defending champ. He's only got that little bit of a point cushion. His truck hasn't been all that
Yeah.
fast. So he can't show up and run mid teams. He's got to go up there, get it done. But yeah, that's a very interesting looking cutoff
You're
there.
so right.
Gonna be nuts tomorrow, boys.
So who are you picking?
Yeah, who are you
I
picking, Ian?
well, I am going with the short track king, Mr. Ty Majeski
Mhm.
himself. Every time he goes onto one of these kind of flatter short tracks, this kid just dominates. So yeah, hoping to see at least one Thor Sport truck in victory lane this weekend.
That's always a smart pick for the
This
short
is
track. So much
this
so I
is
don't like the
a
guy.
Yeah.
good time of year for Ty Majeski. He comes in and wins at IRP. Then he's going to another short oval Richmond, and then the first round of the playoffs, the Milwaukee Mile.
He's
Three
gonna be having a
tracks,
good
So
time.
three
which
tracks that
track
have Ty Majeski
which
painted all over him.
which of those tracks is he gonna cheat at like last year?
Well, if his cheating scandal were working, which it allegedly was, he was cheating at all of those tracks. So yeah.
Oh
Oh
man, but
man.
and then I think for that final cutoff for that final spot, I think Daniel Dye is gonna overcome Mr. Gray, and he's Daniel Dye's had some pretty impressive runs this season from where he was a year ago. So I
Yeah.
think I think he can go out and get it. I
He's
mean, what is he
he's
five?
not he's not lighting the world on fire, but he's getting the job done, and he's staying up there, and he's competitive, and he's
He's
towards the front more often than not.
Man,
pretty
you
much
would think he was lighting the world on fire with how much
Mhm.
fucking camera time Fox gives him. That's their
Let's just
baby boy right there.
yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It is a
Yeah.
weird thing.
Like Michael Waltrip
Mm-mm.
really, really, really likes Daniel Dye for some reason.
Biggest
oh,
surprise of the year as we come to one last race of the truck series in the regular season is the 38 trucks of Lane Riggs. The fact that they could never figure it out with him. I mean, he needs to
it's
win. He
disappointing.
needs to win
He
Richmond.
just
He's
sucks.
75 points below the cut line. I mean, that truck was dominant. That truck,
I just
we were picking that truck every race last year to win, and at least somebody was.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
back. Look at me. I want to go back to all of our race reviews from last year. It's like what I did with Corey Heim this year is what I did
Mhm.
with Zane Smith last year. It's just over reliable. He's gonna be
Yeah,
able to pull
he's
one out.
gonna be
But
there.
Yeah.
it's just crazy to think like this. That just has to show you right there that this is driver versus equipment. There's Zane Smith was able to go out there and win last year, and you got
Mhm.
Lane Riggs. I don't even know why Lane Riggs got this ride. He was so below average in the few spot starts he made for Cog and Xfinity last year. What the did he do to deserve this ride? And now we're in this ride, and he hasn't done shit. So
He's
Yeah.
pissed a lot of people off this year, I'll say that.
this could be a really could be a one and done for him. I could
I think
definitely see
so.
front row one to go in a different direction and get a better prospect in there because they're a very solid team in the truck series, and I don't think
And
they want somebody like
there
Lane
are
Riggs
better
driving their truck.
prospects
Yeah.
around.
Yes.
And it's not like Lane Riggs is bringing any funding. He's sponsored by Love's
Yeah.
basically every week,
Yeah.
right?
He
So
has.
like
Yeah.
that's a Spire or that excuse me, that's a front row sponsor. That's not a
Mhm.
Lane Riggs sponsor. So
Yep. So
interesting,
we shall
interesting,
see.
interesting.
Alrighty, guys. Well, let's get into the Cup Series race. We got the Cookout 400, 300 miles, 400 laps. Stage 1 is 80, Stage 2 is 155, and the final will be 165 laps. Last year's winner was Mr. Busher. He went back to back the week after at Michigan Raceway. Good time for him. And Parker Retzloff, he's going to be making his Cup Series debut. He's been running in the Xfinity Series with Jordan Anderson Racing for the past few years. So making a anticipated Cup debut here. It's good for him. So guys, who are we going to be picking for Sunday night at Richmond Raceway under the lights? Nick, we'll start off with you.
I'm going with the guy who's in a playoff cutoff battle for his life right now. This guy's going to take his name away from that cutoff because he's going to lock himself in. And I'm going with the guy who won the race last year, Chris Buescher. Chris has been fast this season, just hasn't really been able to. He's had quite a few heartbreaks earlier on in the year. Me and Ian, we had to witness that one at Kansas. He's had the heartbreaks, but he's had the speed, and I mean he's just having a solid year, and he's now coming into the best 3 race stretch you could possibly ask for the playoffs. All 3 of these races, Richmond, Michigan, Daytona, he won these races, and so I just really look forward to seeing him get back on the track. I think he's gonna be fast again, and yeah, I think he's gonna make this cut line maybe just a little bit more boring as he locks the spot up. So yeah, give me Buescher 17 car for the win. He really could use it right now because he is in a playoff battle, cut line battle for his life right now.
Yep, he's only got a 17-point cushion for his playoff. So yeah, that'd be pretty big for him to win. All right, Mr. Tom, who do you got going to victory lane on Sunday?
I'm going for also a driver that does not have a win and is also above the cut line, but he's way above the cut line. It won't change a thing. And that's Martin Truex Jr. Saw him come close in the spring, kept his notebook. Saw him go berserk at the end of this race last year, or in the spring, excuse me. Just a couple dominoes didn't fall his way, and it really ticked him off. It was kind of fun to see fiery Martin Truex Jr. But I think he can get redemption, and we always know Toyota's going to show up and run really well at this track. So no reason why they can't do it here and get Martin Truex in victory lane.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Potentially for his last win before he retires.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like we're entering the final stretch for MTJ here.
14 races
to go. 14 races to go. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Would love to see him.
And he's still a championship favorite.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, all he's got to do. He's so consistent. He's gonna have a shot at it.
Yeah.
So I mean, if he wins here, I don't think it's his last win.
No, that would just light a fire under his ass.
But I could also see Martin Truex not winning for the rest of the year, and his last win being whenever that was. So.
He just seems so frustrated. Him and his crew chief James Small, they just something is just not clicking with him. He doesn't. He has no.
Ever since Cole Pearn left, man.
For real, they just do not seem to be on the same page as one another. So I could also see he's either going to win three out of the next 14 races, or he's not going to win at all.
Truex's last win was New Hampshire last season.
Jesus Christ.
All right, guys. Well, I am also going to go with a driver who has been looking for his first win this year, and that's also his first career win as well. I'm going with that number 4 car of Josh Berry. We've seen the Fords really excel here in the fall race for Richmond Raceway. We've seen Kevin Harvick win here multiple times under Rodney Childers. So maybe Rodney will give him a great car this weekend and they'll go to victory lane. We've seen Josh just excel and just get so much better as the year goes on, especially at these short tracks. And this is his bread and butter right here. Would definitely be perfect way for him to get his first career win.
That'd be a popular win, and that would blow off the playoff board right there.
Yeah, I mean that would move the cut line to above Ross Chastain and put Chris Buescher that much more on the hot seat.
Yeah.
That would be a monstrous win.
That would be insane. But I just hope to see all the Stewart-Haas racing cars just do well this weekend and just moving on before the whole team just folds.
For sure. It's gonna be hard not to think about them as Stewart-Haas.
Yeah, it's just gonna be Haas factory team.
HFT, baby. Doesn't ring the same as SHR.
It just sounds so corporate, you know? It just sounds like just no fun.
I will guarantee you not as pretentious as Legacy Motor Club. Ooh.
Oh yeah. Very
Legacy
true.
Motor Club. Just my monocle, yeah.
Oh my god.
I can definitely see Jimmy Johnson, Richard Petty just hanging out smoking cigars with monocles.
Hmm. We do suck. Maybe we shouldn't spend so much money on these cigars.
I got a good idea, Jimmy. Get in the car.
Apparently,
dude,
Jimmy fired a bunch of his crew members too because he wasn't
Yeah.
performing well, which is tough. Tough
Yeah.
for sure.
it's
Because,
just so painful to watch.
are they not
That's what
performing
he's-
well because they're your crew members, or
Is it just you?
who's the driver here?
Yeah. Crew
Oh,
members aren't the
Jimmy.
ones driving the car,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's the
Poor
way
little-
cookie crumbles, I guess. The drivers have the
Put-
most. Well, it's the team owner has the most say.
Yeah.
Put the Bane train in the car. He's a part of the Legacy Motor Club and whatever bullshit role he's got going on.
Hey,
Put
Daytona
him in the car.
500 win is a legacy in itself. So
Damn straight.
For real. So he can stop doing. I don't even know what his role is. Something with like he gives them advice and like. No offense, I love me some Trevor Bane, but I don't think a John Hunter Nemechek wants to take advice from Trevor Bane. I
Does
just
he
don't think
still
he does.
do the like weekly videos where he gives like a preview to the
No,
weekend?
I haven't even seen one of those in a minute. I just really don't think that John Hunter Nemechek wants his advice.
Like,
the rest
shut up.
the rest of the Cup Series garage still goes to Josh Wise. So some of these guys that
This
have
is-
experience in the car but not success in the
This is-
car
Yeah,
This is
it's
true.
know a thing or two about racing.
Yeah, that's what always got me is like Josh Wise.
Josh Wise, he's like the big guy.
It's
He's
wild
like a
because
trainer for all these
every
guys on like how to race.
driver interview, they're like, "Oh, I was talking with Josh Wise." Like, you work with Josh Wise too? Shit! Like,
You're like-
Connor Zilic mentioned Josh Wise multiple times in his interview with
Hey,
Dale
man.
Jr. It's like, what the? How? I
Josh
should be
Wise
able to
will
have a
for-
meeting with Josh Wise once a week if all these guys are getting it. Damn.
Josh Wise will forever be a goat just for the Dogecoin car.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only memorable thing about Josh Wise is he ran the Dogecoin car. That's about it. But man, I guess he's just a legend among all the drivers. God damn.
I
Yeah.
guess so. So if Trevor Bane wants to build that role, fine, let's do it. We'll be second in line to Josh Wise and giving advice or whatever the hell they do.
All right, guys. Well, we made our picks for the weekend. Guys, comment down below who you think is going to win this weekend in the Truck Series and the Cup Series, and let us know what you think of this possible 2025 playoff schedule. Do you like it? Do you think it's cool that Talladega is going to be in the round of 8, or do you just absolutely hate it? Let us know down below.
Or if you hate us, you could let us
Yeah,
know.
Yeah,
let
you
us
can
know
also-
if you hate us. Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
we have a lot of reasons for people to hate us. So.
I'm not bothered by it. Just
No.
don't be rude. Don't be egregiously rude, but you can hate on us. That's fine.
Yeah, just give us a dislike and we'll see it. We won't change our ways, we promise.
Oh, quick
But-
note before you finish up. The post-tropical depression that was Hurricane Debbie moved through Richmond today. So we should have a clear weekend of weather. If
Thank
you're
God.
wondering.
Yeah.
I was talking with my meteorologist friend at work. So he said it should be
Honestly-
clear for racing this weekend.
Honestly, the only thing that would have made that race exciting is if we had a little bit of weather
A
involved.
little
so we could
little rain tires.
little rain tire action. Because
Yeah.
man, out of all the tracks they could have gone to come back after 2 weeks off, it's fucking Richmond. Ugh.
Yeah,
It's
Not-
better than nothing,
Woo!
I'd say.
yeah.
The Olympics have been fun, but
I will say,
those track races they don't last long enough for me. I need to sit down for 3 hours and really take one in.
yeah, right. Yeah, I will say the thing about Richmond though, hopefully we'll see some good strategy racing this weekend because that's pretty much what we're gonna be getting out of this track and what we see at Gateway as well. But if we get a late race caution like we saw with Mr. Kyle Busch a few weeks ago at Indy, then it's all gonna ruin the strategy racing. So we'll see. Hopefully, for Tom's sake, that Kyle Busch just crosses the finish
Survives.
line.
I thought you were going to
Cross the
mention
finish line.
his non-caution at Richmond too, where he went up and brushed the wall and they threw the
Oh,
caution.
yeah.
He was about to. I thought that's where you were going. He's had so many stupid cautions here. We need to stop. I'm going to get sad again.
Yeah, we just need to end the show. This has been this has been too much exposure therapy for Tom today. We need to end the show right now.
Holy shit.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to give a like to make Tom happy once again. It'll really make him smile. Make sure to check out all of our links down below, and we'll see you next time. Enjoy Richmond for the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson,
I'm Nick Kinsel.
I'm Tom Hoblin.
and we'll see you guys next time.